Hi, ladies. Sure do miss you guys and getting after it in practice and competing in the games. I miss you and want to wish you a great journey in your future. I want to take you back to a practice in which we were getting ready for the state tournament, and I told you about that I thought you guys acted like a pack of wolves, and so it brought up a poem that I mentioned that day. So I thought we'd talk about it a little bit and go over it now, which is by Rudyard Kipling, and it's called The Law of the Jungle. This is the law of the jungle, old and as true as the sky. And the wolf that follows will prosper, and the wolf that doesn't will die. Like the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back. The strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Good luck in your future.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 2019-2020 Camas Basketball Banquet. Nothing would have made me happier than to do this in person. As you guys know, we tried to push it in hopes that we could do this live. But with the way things are right now and with our seniors getting ready to go to college, I think at this point, this is just our best option. So we're going to make the most of it. And we really want to celebrate what we feel like was an amazing season. And it wouldn't be right not to do this. So here we go. With no further ado, Coach Dillman, you're up first.
Hey ladies, Coach Dillman here. Man, what a crazy year. Really wish that we were able to do this all together. I'd love to see you guys again. But I'm so happy that you guys got to experience the state tournament. I was so happy to get to experience that with you guys. And what an amazing season. Some really cool moments all throughout. You know, taking down the 2A state champion at our place, taking down one of the best 5A schools in Oregon at our place. You know, the buzzer beater against South Eugene. You know, that state qualifier up at Shorewood, knocking out Skyview in a loser out game. Just so many awesome memories. Getting to go to the Dome with you guys was just absolutely amazing. You know, probably the highlight for me was that win at Shorewood, and being on the bench and letting Haley Johnson know that I had brought the clippers with me so that you guys could get rid of the beard. It's coming back in nicely now, but more than happy to lose the beard so that you guys could experience the Dome and I could experience that with you guys. Man, seniors, I'm so excited for what you guys have next. Emma, Avery, Kira, Haley, I know you guys are going to do great things. Thank you so much for all you brought to Papermaker Basketball. You guys have set an awesome foundation for all the girls coming behind you. So excited to watch you guys and see what your futures hold. Really excited for our incoming seniors, you know, Jay and Caitlin and Faith and Emma, to see what we can do this coming year. Hopefully we get the season in so that we can do some great things this year with you four, along with Ash and Anna, and then some of our JV kids, you know, Kennedy and Kendall and Sammy and Callie, and you know, all these girls that are so excited to just continue to build on what you guys have started. So love you guys so much. Again, wish that I could see you guys in person. Hopefully this thing's over before we know it, and we're all able to get back together and relive some of those great moments from this season. But again, just want to say that I love you guys. Thanks again for all the memories that you've given me, and hopeful for what's coming next for you guys. Bye.
Thank you, Coach Dill. And even to add it a step further, I've never coached a team that won 3 loser-out games in 7 days before. That was very, very special, and I think it speaks volumes to how much we didn't want our season to end. It was a very special group, and we were having the time of our lives, and we just did not want that season to end. Then we come back a week later, and we take on Lake Stevens with a chance to go to the Dome, and The big wins for this team were hard to count. Going back and thinking of all the things that we accomplished this year, just even starting the season with a big win against Silverton, a team that didn't get to finish their season but was in the Final Four in Oregon. The wonder is a win like that going to define us, or is it a statement win that we're just going to build off of? And I'll tell you, as this season went on, we just kept building and building and building. We got a great league win versus Union at our place. And then when we got into the playoffs, that just seems like that's where the magic started to happen. Winning the loser out games was a blast. We ended 3 top 10 teams in the state of Washington season during that run. We beat Tahoma, who was 18-2 in the regular season, Skyview, who obviously was our league champs, and then going on and beating a Lake Stevens team that has 3 girls that have already received Division I offers. It was just a magnificent run. But I don't even think that's what defines this team. The wins were great, but if I look back at last season and I think about all the things that we accomplished, I start thinking about how great the team chemistry was and how when you guys were on the court, you truly played for each other and how much fun we had. This year was just an absolute blast for your coaches. And to be able to be a part of that and what you guys built and the culture that you guys had inside that locker room was very special. And you will always have that. And I think that defines you more than all those great wins and all those great moments.
Hey ladies of Camas basketball, Coach Lisa here. Just wanted to say great season, and I'm going to miss all the seniors. I wish we could do this in person because you know how I like hugs and high fives. Big love to all of you guys. I can't wait to watch those of you play that are continuing on, and for those that aren't continuing on, I know we still gonna ball. I love you all, and I cannot wait to hit the court and play soon. Peace.
Okay, let's get started with the players. First up, we have rookie Anna Mooney. Something that a lot of people don't know is that Anna led us in minutes during the playoffs. That really speaks to her rise this season. And we go back to the beginning of the season in tryouts when Anna came off of a summer ball where she was playing JV, and when she showed up for tryouts, like, we knew right away. You could tell she took it very seriously. She was in great shape. She looked like she had a basketball in her hands all from June until November. And she just showed up. And we thought, holy cow, like we've got a player here. And so Anna got thrust right onto the varsity team. But still, being a freshman, you have to learn the plays and you have to go through all that process. And now she's kind of started that climb. And then when it got to the playoffs, you really got to see her big game abilities. You really got to see a player that loves the big moments. And I mean, we look at Anna and think, oh my gosh, we get her for 3 more years. Anna was just fantastic this season. A story that I'd like to share with Anna, which Anna may not want me to share, is a practice story. And I still kind of even feel bad about this. So every once in a while I bring out the pad, and it's a good way to kind of, I feel like I take my aggression out a little bit by hitting people when they go to shoot layups to try to teach them how to get through contact. But as a coach, you get to kind of just pop people a little bit. It's kind of fun. And so we're doing a drill where I'm trying to get our guards to come through contact when like a person is bumping them in the lane without the ball. And so the guards are kind of cutting through. I've got the pad. And sure enough, Caitlin's coming through. And she drills me. My shoulder's popping up. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like Caitlin. Of course, Caitlin just absolutely takes advantage of it and drills me. Well, Anna's coming next. And I'm kind of on this like help side situation where I can't really see. And I don't know who's coming next. But Caitlin just drilled me. And all I can think is like, I got to go a little harder. I got to toughen up. And I turn around and go bang, and there's Anna Mooney. and all I could see was her legs coming up into the air as she was falling on her back. And I was just like, in the moment, just thinking, oh my gosh, what have I done? Anna, I'm still really sorry about that. That was awful. But she pops back up, and from that point on, we decided to give her a starting job so I didn't lose my job. And no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it was great. Anna, you were absolutely awesome this season. And we're just so excited for your future. Anna, great job. Up next, the Bauer Tower. Ashley is such an important piece of our team. When it comes to interior defense and rebounding and just overall toughness, she just means so much to what we do. When you think of Ashley's season, like, I can't stop thinking of one play, and that one play was against Skyview in the game that we sent them packing. There was a moment where I think it was early fourth quarter. We had just started to make our run, and we had just started to get a little bit of a lead. And Ashley was coming up to set a screen. She slipped it. Caitlin hit her on the run downhill, which can be a tricky play because she's looking over her shoulder, catching the ball, and then trying to attack the hoop. The defensive help side came, and they were there. They were in great position to make a play, and Ashley just caught it in control, jump stop, step through, gets the and one at the rim. And really, in many ways, like, that was the momentum swing. I can still remember the bench jumping up and down, and then from that point on, it was all us. That was just really, really, really fun moment to be a part of. Ashley had a lot of those, but that's my favorite one for sure. I gotta tell you a little story. One day in practice, Kira Segowis comes up to me before practice, and she's apparently doing some kind of survey with the team. And she comes up and she's like, "Coach, I got a question for you." And she goes, "If you were going to have to fight one of our players in a back alley, which one would you not want to fight?" And I was like, "Oh, Ashley, of course." And she just like instantly was like, "Everybody keeps saying Ashley." Like Kira, I think Kira wanted to be the tough one. But it was so funny because, that's something that you just, like, no matter how hard you coach, effort and energy and toughness, like, it can be really challenging. Sometimes you just got to bring it. And Ashley, you just bring it. And it's so fun to be around. It's so fun to see you get after it. And when you're playing hard, there's just very few people that can stop you. And so, again, Ashley's another one we get for 2 more years. So it just makes it so fun. We saw Faith from her sophomore to junior year, the jump that she made. And I know Ashley's already working hard for next season, and we're so stinking excited to see Ashley make that jump too from sophomore to junior year. This is going to be a really, really fun 2 years for Ash. Next up, it's foreigner time. If I was in a situation where I could only say one great thing about Caitlin and what she does and what she means for our season, I would say this. In our entire season last year, every single time we got on the lines and ran a set of lines, whether it was a 4, an 8, a 16, or anything in between, Caitlin never got second. She won every single time. That's how competitive this girl is. There is absolutely no quitting her. Everything we do, every minute we're on the court, whether it's practice or a game or anything else, she is going as hard as she can go. Okay, it's absolutely amazing. She's probably the most competitive human being I've ever been around in my life, not just basketball, in life. And that's just an awesome character trait. And it's so stinking fun to be around someone who just wants to win at all costs, no matter what, no matter when, and no matter what you're doing. And so, Caitlin, the benefits of having Caitlin on the floor were substantial. And I think the best way to sum that up is we keep track of the plus minus. So when you're on the court, how good is the team doing? How successful? We have Caitlin leads our team with plus 184 this year. So when she was on the court, we were 184 points better than our opponent. Okay, Faith was second. She was 172. Okay, so we're 172 points better with Faith. No one else on our team was over 100. Okay, so that just speaks volumes to how successful we are when she's on the court. She means so much to us. And, for a player that does almost everything great, you just see it in all the categories. But she doesn't really get the publicity that a lot of our players do, because the one thing that she doesn't do really is provide scoring. She's our setup girl. She was a school record holder this year in assists. She's the one that's getting in, doing the dirty work, and then letting everybody else shine. And to be able to do that and to be able to embrace that role, it's just special. It's just special. She will do anything it takes for us to win basketball games. And it shows by the way she handles the fact that she doesn't get her name in the paper as much as everybody else because she doesn't score. She's totally happy taking on whatever role it takes to win basketball games. She's an absolute winner, and it is a blast having her on this basketball team. So one funny story with Caitlin is we're getting ready to play Heritage for the first time this year. And it's kind of funny because if you went to any of the Heritage games, they're very impressive looking. And I believe the way I stated it to the girls, I said they might be one of the top 3 teams in the state getting off the bus. If you just watch them get off the bus, or if you just watch them in the warm-up line, you'd think they're one of the best teams in state. They're big, they're long, they're athletic. They've got girls that can just really, really look good in warm-ups. They can shoot, they can dribble, they can pass, they can do all that. And it's a little intimidating if you just look at them in warm-ups. And I kept saying to the girls before, I was like, you can't get caught up in that, because I watched them in warm-ups and thought, holy cow, they're going to be really good this year. And then when I watch them play, it's like, okay, no, they're not that good. Well, so I kept telling to the girls, it doesn't matter. The ball doesn't go in. They might be 6'4", 6'3", but the ball doesn't go in. And so right before the Heritage game, Caitlin comes over to me and she kind of walks up to the side of me and she goes, gosh, Coach, you're kind of right. She's like, they look really, really good. And I go, yeah, Caitlin, but don't forget, when they shoot it, it doesn't go in. And Caitlin's response was, she looks at me and she goes, yeah, Coach, I know the feeling. And I was dying. I'm just like, love it. I love it. And it speaks, honestly, the humor in that moment speaks to self-awareness, which is why she's so stinking good. She understands her game. She knows where she's at. She knows the shots she can make and can't make, and it helps us win basketball games. So it's just so fun having you, Caitlin. And we get you for one more year. And if there's a season this year, you are absolutely going to dominate it. All right, Jays for Days, you're up next. We often use the term to the girls that the season can be a roller coaster ride. And to say that about Jelena's season, I think would be a massive understatement. The ups and downs were substantial. And it was at times, it was hard and heartbreaking, and at times it was absolutely amazing. So Jelena, just to persevere through that basketball season was amazing. But then to come out of it and help us the way you did, even more incredible. And so just to kind of recap the basketball season for Jelena is she started out in the beginning of the year, and there was some good moments and there was some good times, but ultimately there was something wrong. And there was some vitamin issues and some things that Jay had to take care of. And so she did. She worked really hard, changed her diet, and just the sacrifices she made. I mean, we're in Eugene, and we're trying to ask her where she can go to eat so that we can make sure that she can be in a situation she can be successful. And she's like, I'll go anywhere. I'll figure it out. Well, we end up going to a pizza place, And Jay's over there, eating like this dry salad and, just making every sacrifice needed to get her body right so that she could get back on the court and help us help us win basketball games. I mean, it was really cool to see because a lot of people talk about they'll do anything for this, but they don't actually do anything for that. And Jelena was out there doing what it took to get back on the court. And then you see how it happens. I mean, we come back in the playoffs and we start to bring her in little by little. And, you kind of see as she emerges, all of a sudden we got a lot better. And that definitely went hand in hand. To me, the best moment for Jay was the Lake Stevens game. I say that because with Faith and 3 of their players, there was 4 Division I players on that basketball court. There was a ton of talent in that game, and it was definitely, there was some concerning matchups when we watched film. And when we left that game and the coaches were kind of sitting in the hallway, one of the things that we thought was, out of those players on the court, out of everybody on the court, the player that played the best, the player that impacted the game the most, wasn't one of the 4 Division I players. It was Jelena. And you saw her emergence, and you saw, Faith and Ashley both got in foul trouble, and so we had to push her over 20 minutes, which we tried very hard not to. And so when she got to 22 minutes that game, and she just responded so well, and she played so well, and it wasn't just scoring, it was everything. It was defense, it was hustle, it was diving out of bounds, it was defending their pick and roll action. I mean, everything she did, she was an absolute A+. She impacted that game more than all those Division I players did, and shut down those Lake Stevens bigs with the help of our bigs as well. It was really cool. To me, that was your defining moment, Jay. I've seen lists in the state of Washington of Glacier Peak's power forward being a top 30 player in the state, and Jay held her to 2 points. I saw Lake Stevens for has already gotten Division I letters. Jay held her to 6 points, and on both games she scored over 10. And so I think Jay really, really made a splash last postseason. And after what she had been through, it was just remarkable. And so Jay, great job, perseverance for sure. All in all, it was an absolutely awesome season, and you always were there for us. You always impacted everything, whether it was on the court or off the court. You're just so important to this team, and we're so lucky to have you. And nice job, Jay. Big Stick, you're up next. So when you talk about Faith, you have to talk about leading scorer, points per game, all league, all region. She's just amazing at this game, and it was so fun to watch her play this year. It was so fun to watch her develop. She's a special talent, and I was kind of thinking, like, going back and when we felt like we knew that she was going to play the way she played this year. And I take you back to a summer league game. So I'm going back to June of last year. We were playing in the upstairs gym at Oregon City High School. And we're kind of in a back and forth game. It's close. We're in the final 8 minutes, I believe. And at one point during a timeout, I just kind of said, we're scrapping everything we're trying to do. Everybody around the outside, like 4 girls around the outside, Faith, just get the best position you can find, and we're just going to go to you. And so we just passed it around the perimeter until she got open, and we went to her. And 3 straight possessions, she got buckets for us. And I was the only coach there that game. Even going to the 4th possession, they came and doubled, and she kicked out. And I remember Jelena hit a 3. So we got 4 straight buckets off of just going to her. And I remember after the game calling the other coaches and just being like, I think this is it. I think she arrived. And I thought that was just a really, really cool moment because, she didn't stop after that. Like, it just kept getting better and better and better from that point on. And so that was really fun to see. And that's not necessarily when she really did arrive, because I'm going to take Faith, I'm taking you to the Hill in Pacific City. because that's when Faith arrived, right then. We did, last year, we did, in the end of June, the Camas Hoops Olympics. And we had like 12 events, and we scored all the events, and who could get the most points would be the Olympic champion. And if you've ever been to Pacific City, there is a hill that is just ridiculous. And I mean, it was actually really cool to watch, because that hill is just a beast. And just the concept of going up it without stopping, like, makes people puke. Like, it is awful, awful. And Faith starts out on a jog, and it was kind of like I was at the top of the hill looking down, coaches were at the bottom, I was kind of taking pictures and filming it, and it was like, there's no way she's going to be able to keep this up. There's no way. And I think every single player behind her too was like, eventually Faith's just going to have a seat. Like, there's no way. The willpower we saw that day to win that event was insane. She never stopped the entire way up the hill. The most you could say she even slowed down to was like a heavy power walk. And I don't even know if that can be duplicated. I mean, I've seen some crazy people fail at that hill that were in great shape. I mean, Faith, just the willpower. I mean, it was just, I think that's when everybody, the team, the players, the coaches, it was like, all right, this girl's got it. And I keep saying, like, from that point on, it was good. It was just kept getting better and better and better and better. And then, Faith, having the opportunity to coach you has been great. And I'm just excited to have you come back for another year and do this again, because every time you step on the court, it feels like you're a better player. And it's just been so fun to watch. So now I get to share some maybe embarrassing stories, but I have to. So my favorite Faith moment happened to be right after the Skyview game at our place. And that was a devastating loss. We did not expect to lose that game. We did not expect them to take it to us the way that they did. And it was tough. And our locker room was down. And the leadership skills that Faith has isn't necessarily like the vocal leadership. It's just her mannerisms. She leads by example, as well as anyone I've ever coached. She took it upon herself to try to lift our locker room with just being a positive person. And I think that's just such a valuable thing, is like when you're leading scorer, when your best player, knows that the sun's going to come up tomorrow and she's acting that way. I mean, you can start to kind of evaluate how you're going to react and like how you're going to handle it. And that short-term memory loss can be really impactful when we start to prepare for our next game. Well, Faith's kind of got this little vibe of like, I'm going to get through this thing. Like, we're going to be, she's telling everybody they played great. Well, she comes out of the locker room and she still has this, like, I think she's trying really, really hard to be positive, even though I'm sure it's really, really hard for her to do. And she comes out of the locker room, the coaches are in the hallway, and she looks over at the coaches and she says, "Bye, coaches," with a big smile on her face. "I'll see you tomorrow at practice." And we're all like, okay, Faith, we'll see you later. And we start to wave to her. Well, the doors in the hallway that go towards the gym were shut, and they're not usually shut. And Faith just goes head first into the doors. And I gotta tell you, Faith, you figured out a way to lift our spirits that day, because that was hilarious. And I felt horrible, and at the same time couldn't stop laughing because it was just so stinking funny. So Faith, I'm sorry to call you out in front of everybody, but that is just, it's too good. It's too good. And I have to tell the Moose story too. So we're just going to go on and on about Faith today. So our locker room, thanks to Coach Griff, I blame this all on Coach Griff. It's nothing to do with anybody else. We like to sometimes talk about how we play towards how animals attack. And we're talking about the toughest animals. And we're in the locker room and everybody's kind of having fun and we're just throwing out animals. And somehow the orca comes up, the killer whale. because nobody wants to be in the water if killer whales are around. Like, that just doesn't seem fun at all. And how they just, they hunt great whites, and we're just like, we're sharing stories about how awesome orcas are. And Faith, who like, we go to Faith for everything that is any kind of trivia or anything like math or science or like anything that takes an intelligent person to know the answers to. Like, our entire locker room just looks to Faith for answers. Like, even the coaches. Like, Faith is just she's the genius in the locker room that we get all of our answers from. Well, Faith chimes in about the killer whales, and she goes, I know, they even eat moose. And like, the locker room kind of went silent, and we were kind of looking around like, is that possible? Like, and it was Emma Sands who kind of chimed in from the corner after about a 5 to 10 second, like, just silence. And Emma was like, Faith, I'm not sure moose and killer whales coexist. And so, of course, we're pulling out Google and trying to figure out if it actually happens, which we have proved that she is right. Of course she's right. The moose do eat killer whales, but killer whales eat moose. But that turned into kind of a long-running joke in our locker room, and it was just fun. And I just, Faith is just so much to us. The what you see on the court, the points, the moves, the rebounds, like, it's great, right? That's awesome. But the off the court stuff and her attitude and how she handles herself, how she's serious about scouting reports and just leads by example. I mean, it's just fun to be around. And I can say that about every girl on this team from top to bottom. I mean, this is just a really, really fun year. And Faith, having a superstar, which you are a superstar, that conducts themselves the way that you do, just is a coach's dream. And it just makes it so stinking fun. And so, Faith, great job, great season. All right, Sands, you're up next. Okay, so I wasn't sure who to share this story, if I was talking about Emma Rare or Emma Sands, because it combines both of them, and it's just too good not to share, so I just want to go with it now. So we were doing an escape room earlier in the year over Christmas break, and it was a really fun deal, and we're in the lobby, and we're getting ready, and the whole team's going to go in this escape room and kind of figure out how they can escape. Well, Emma Rare is talking to Emma Sands, and I'm sitting across from them listening to this conversation. And Emma Rare is telling Emma Sands about how she did a zombie escape room. And she's talking about the details and how cool it was. And like, we were in this room and there was zombies chained and and Emma Sands looks at her and goes, wait, real zombies? And Emma Rare's answer was, no, just people dressed up as zombies. And then Emma Sands looks back and goes, oh, okay. And then they continue on the story. And I am legitimately just marveling at this, because how they got through that was just priceless. But I couldn't help but just sit there and be like, wait, like, I want to go back in time and ask Emma Sands if she thought that there were real zombies in that room, because they just blasted right through that. So I'm going to need to know, Emma, did you really think there were zombies in that room? Well, when we talk about Emma Sands and what she means to this team, I think it's really, really hard to quantify. In my entire coaching career, I tried. I went through all my years and just all the players, and I was trying to think, do I have a player in my entire coaching career that provided as much leadership as Emma Sands did from where she was in the team? Usually your leadership comes from like your leading scorer, your best player, your most talented player. And you kind of go as they go, right? Like, if your best player is a horrible leader, you're probably not going to have a good season. And what was kind of special about this team, and what was really special about Emma Sands, is how she could be a leader from, not being the best player. And I thought that was really cool. And our team environment, our team locker room, she has a big voice in our locker room. And if you were watching our scouting report stuff and you were going over our scouting report and you were talking about like what we're going to do this game, and she might as well coach with me. She knew everything. She was right there for all that stuff. And when it came down to like team meetings and someone that needed to have their voice being heard, like she was willing to stand up and talk. And I think that was really valuable. It shows a lot about character. And sometimes we've talked about it a little bit today already, but sometimes how great of a season we had or how much fun we had during a season isn't necessarily like the wins and losses. It's the environment that we have off the court. It's how we go about every single day in practice when no one else can see us. And having someone like Emma Sands on the team it just makes things so much fun to be around. She's such a high character person, a great leader, and she just kills it every single day. And I really look forward to having one more year with you in our locker room and on the court as well. So I told the story earlier about the faith and the killer whales eating the moose. Well, I'll tell you one of my favorite moments this year is because we just beat Lake Stevens. We're headed to the Dome, and we couldn't be happier, right? We're all on the bus on the way home. And it's literally like the highlight feeling of the year, right? We're headed to the Dome, and I get a text message on a group feed with Emma Sands, who has created a picture. Well, I'll let you guys see it. Yeah, you might want to go back and look at that again because it's pretty awesome. So yeah, this is what Emma can do for us. Like, Emma's just the best. And Emma, awesome job this year. We absolutely love having you and look forward to one more year. Okay, we'll segue that into our other Emma. Emma Rare, you're up. One of my favorite things about Emma is she came into this year after emerging at the end of her junior year with helping us in the playoffs and shooting a bunch of threes. And she came into this year and she wasn't shooting very well, and that just happens. I mean, that's just part of the game. We always talk about control the controllables, and she did. Like, she just got to work, and I swear, every single day in practice when we did shooting drills, no one took them more seriously than her. And she got up as many reps as anyone could possibly get up in the time that we gave them to shoot, because it was something that she knew she wanted to do better. She wanted to help us the way that she helped us the year before with her shooting. Now, she was doing all the other stuff. She was still helping us with her defense and just all the things that she provides with our pressing and our speed and making plays. But the shooting thing, you could tell, was getting to her. And so all year, every single time we did our shooting stuff, like, she was just getting after it and just pushing, getting as many shots up as she could. And you could tell she was kind of wearing her heart on her sleeve, because that was one thing that she really, really wanted to provide. And, it was like, it felt like in the playoffs, because she did shoot better as we got on, and her her 3-point percentage went up in the playoffs, which honestly is kind of rare. Like most players don't spike when the games are at their hardest, and she did. But I know why, and we all saw why, because she put the work in. She spent all season trying to get that jump shot right, and then she started hitting them. She started hitting a higher percentage in the playoffs, and it felt like with every three that she hit, it was like this. Like, we know how hard she's. Like, we've seen her in practice. And you just. It was really cool. It was fun to watch. That start to go in. But here's the thing, is as much as I would love to make this about basketball, I can't talk about Emma without just talking about the Camas Hoops Olympics. I still don't get it. We put together 12 events that were like the most variety events that you'll ever see. Like, we climbed a hill, and then we got back down and started playing spike ball. And then when we were done with that, we did a puzzle. And then when we were done with the puzzle, we did a golf shot. And then this and then that. And then like literally we put the most random 12 events you could possibly think of. Emma won everything. It made it like there is nothing that Emma isn't good at. And it was crazy. Like we were all like, the coaches were just in awe. We're just like, okay, so what's Emma gonna win next? And she dominated, and she was crowned the first ever Camas Hoops Olympic champion, which we're gonna continue on, and now someone else can get a taste of victory because Emma won't be here anymore. But that was awesome. I think like your legendary status, Emma, will always have something tied in with the Camas Hoops Olympics, for sure. Going back to basketball, you know, the best way that I can describe Emma is she's just a winner. And like she does like the savvy, crafty things that you just don't really know how to teach. And it's funny to me because I see her all the time in the press stuff where she's denying one of their better players. Like we put her on fast, talented players because that's her specialty. And so she's guarding a lot of times the other team's best guard, fastest guard for sure, point guard a lot of times. And we're telling her, don't let her touch the ball. And Emma grabs, she hooks arms, she just is always in the right place. Like she just always like she figures things out and she just denies touches as good as anyone. And I feel like there's times in games when she gets a foul called for holding a jersey or like elbowing or something, and you're like, your first thought as a coach is, why are you holding a jersey? And then it's like, okay, wait, hold on. That's what makes her great. Like the fact that she does that, like you have to love. And it's awesome. Like I think that craftiness is part of what makes our team great. And Emma is like and that's probably why she was good at every event in the Camas Hoops Olympics. But I just, yeah, it made us as a team a winner. And it was just fun. It was fun. Emma, you were so amazing the last 2 years, and you mean so much to our basketball program and our basketball team this year. If we're gonna make a poster of Camas basketball in the future, we're gonna put you and your other seniors that you grew up with, and we're gonna make you guys the poster children because that's exactly what we want our program to look like. Just an amazing year and an awesome career in Camas. Okay, Smalls, you're up. Okay, Saggy Smalls. I think I could write a book. I don't need a video banquet. I think I could write a full book on great stories involving Kira Segowitz. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is when I first met Kira, something had happened in the course of practice, and I pulled her over and I was like, hey, on this play, we really want you looking here first, and then we're gonna look back this way. And it was just kind of one of those little general, like, no, you know, just a coaching deal. And Kira looks at me and she's like, thank you, coach. Thank you, coach. Thank you. Thank you. And I was like, okay, like, stop thanking me. Are you even listening? And it was just funny. But that's Kira. I mean, like, she's the easiest person to coach in the world because you say something to her and she's just like, I get it. Like, you want me to be better? I want me to be better. Whatever you've got, bring it. And I love it. I love it. It's been such a blast coaching Kira. You go in like energy based. I just don't know if anyone in this world has more energy than Kira. I mean, she just brings it every single day. Smile on her face. Hardest drills that we do, like she smiles through them all, and she provides so much for our team on the court, but off the court as well. I mean, I like, you know, the season is a roller coaster, and we have our ups and we had our downs, and our biggest down was the game when Skyview came into our place and got us. And you know, like a lot of times you learn more from the losses, and a lot of times those can help you in the future, but you need the right people to make that happen. And that's what Kira brings. And so I probably wasn't supposed to know this, Kira, and you don't know that I know this at this point, but I was told by some of the players that after that game, when I left the locker room and all the coaches were out of the locker room, everyone starts crying and everybody's, devastated. And Kira Seguis goes around to every single person in the locker room and says, "I love you because," and talks about each player. And that leadership, or that just ability to lift other people, I mean, you need to figure out how to bottle that up and sell it, because you will be a millionaire, because everybody wants what you have. I mean, it's absolutely special. Your character, your personality is special. And how can we talk about Kira without bringing up that amazing moment? That was the putting Skyview out of their misery moment. And I think Kira had 2 of those in that game, but the and one was just too good. That to me, on the court, is Kira's best moment this year. And I just think it was a really special season, Kira. And I hope that Camas basketball gave you as much as you gave Camas basketball, because you are awesome, and we look forward to watching you play in the future. And we're glad that you're still playing basketball. Thank you, Kira. Next up, Haley Johnson. If the 2019-2020 basketball season taught us anything, it is one thing. It is never, ever do a white elephant gift exchange with Haley Johnson. Don't do it. It's awful. The emotional breakdowns are too much. Haley, please never do a white elephant again. No, I say that kidding, but it was hilarious. So every time someone took Haley's gift, she cried. And we were all dying, and it turned into, like, you gotta take her gift at that point, because it was just hilarious. I'm not even sure Haley even wanted any of those, and so it was funny. Haley on the court, like, how could I even talk about you without bringing up this? I can't watch that thing enough. I mean, it's just awesome. Funny backstory on that play. We put that play in for Haley. We kind of have like an emergency package, like once a week. We kind of work on some, like, what if this happens? Like, what if we get the ball on the side with 2 seconds left and we're down 3? And we kind of have our little packages, and we never ever get to run any of the plays. We don't even usually rep them against defense. We usually just, like rep them with 5-on-0. And so we didn't have a lot of reps on that play. We put that play in a few weeks earlier, but we maybe only repped it 3 times in practice for like a handful of times. And so the ball goes out of bounds. We have no timeouts. We've got to get into this play. And I start calling it. And the play's for Haley, and everybody's running to their spots. And Haley just looks at me and she's like, I don't know what we're doing. And so I legitimately walked Haley through the play right in front of her defender. Her defender should have known every single thing that Haley was about to do, because I told her, I go, Haley, this is the play where she's going to come screen for you. You're going to come over here. Faye's going to pass you the ball. Haley's like, got it. Whack, whack, whack. Bang, 3-pointer. That was actually one of the coolest moments I've ever been in, because, just in a coaching career, you don't get very many buzzer beaters. And to be able to go like to Eugene on a team trip, we're going to stay the night, and to hit that shot and it just gave us a different mood, a different vibe that night. And it was just really cool. It was really cool. Haley, like, I think probably the most defining thing about her as a basketball player is she wants that shot. And I know she wants that shot. And you just know, as a coach, you know the people. And so you saw in a lot of games that down the stretch, we would go to Haley with the game on the line because, I mean, there's just like a killer instinct inside her that just says, get me the ball. Like, she hunts the opportunity to try to win games for us. And because of that, she hit some monster shots this year. And we loved having that shooter that we could go to in clutch moments and know that the moment wasn't too big and know that she was gonna be just all over that rim every single time. So I'm gonna bring you into a little like coach's locker room thing. The coaches were trying to figure out where we were gonna play Skyview. So the game was originally, the third time we played Skyview, which was the loser out game, was originally supposed to be up north. There was some discussion that they were going to move it down here to a neutral site. And I'm going back and forth with the athletic director that's putting it on. And he brought up Heritage. And I was with Griff and Dill at the time. And the first thing that we all said to each other was, we got to go to Heritage because Haley's lights out there. I feel like for the last 2 years, every time we've been there, Haley shot well. I don't know if it's the lights. I don't know if it's the paint. I don't know if it's the color. Haley was always on when we played at Heritage. And so it was funny because you just never know how that's going to turn out. But we jumped all over that. We're texting with the athletic director in charge. We're texting with RAD and we're saying, yes, Heritage. Because in our heads, we were like, the best thing we could do is go to a place that Haley just drills threes. A kind of a little bit unknown fact probably outside of our team, but if Haley made 3 or more threes in a game, we won. And so I think that's a really, really cool deal because it just shows you what her boost in scoring gives to us. Like when she was on, we were so stinking hard to beat. And so that was really cool. So of course, we go play that Skyview game at Heritage, and she checks into the game and just bang, 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 hits her first 3 threes. Maybe hit 4 that game. I can't really think of it off the top of my head, but at least 3 right off the bat. And really kind of carried us through the first half because outside of her, we struggled a little offensively in the first half, but not when she's knocking down shots. And so, I mean, that's one moment, couple moments in an amazing season of a career that made several big shots. Haley, you've just done so much for our basketball team, and you show up every single day ready to work. You show up every single day ready to get better. And the table that you've set in our program and what being a good shooter looks like, you showed so many of the young players in our community how to do it right. I feel like this program is going to benefit from you being in it for years to come. And so we'll forever be thankful, and we absolutely loved having you. Nice job, Haley. Okay, last up, Avery Minnick. Avery is just a winner. There's just no other way of putting it. She's savvy, she's shiesty, she does all the little things that it takes to win basketball games. I think I go back and forth with favorite win, but I think ending Skyview's season was definitely gratifying after them beating us twice during the season and us doing it in the game that mattered the most with the season ending on the line. Avery made a couple plays that game where they're just smart, and that's just the kind of player she is. You put her on the court and like good things happen. And I'll just break a couple down, but into the third quarter, Ash just hit her M1 step through. We're starting to get a little bit of momentum. And Avery hits a backdoor cut on the baseline. Caitlin finds her for a layup. And it's just, these little things that Avery just sees. Avery just feels like they, you don't have to tell her to do something. If it opens up, she'll find it. The other thing is Kira Seguis had that big and one in the fourth quarter that kind of just broke that thing, broke the back of Skyview. Well, the whole beginning of that process was Avery jumping a ball screen. And so they went and set a screen for the girl that had the ball, and Avery just hedges out hard, makes her cough it up. It goes right to Kira, and Kira was the one that took it out for the breakaway. And I kind of look back at that film, and I'm like, that's just Avery right there. Like, Kira got the steal, Kira got the bucket, Kira got the glory, she got the video on Twitter, but Avery's the one that started that sucker. And I think that's kind of what she does for us. Like, whether it's behind the scenes or whether it's on the court, like, Avery, you were just a rock for this team. Like, you were always there when we needed you. Like, no matter what it was, whether it was being a friend, whether it was being a caring teammate, or whether it was being a playmaker. Like, whatever it was, you were always there for us. And so another great moment is at the Tacoma Dome. We get to the Dome, and as a coach, you're worried. You're worried about how all the girls are going to handle, like, just the atmosphere in general. Like, I think a big thing in the coaching community is you always plan on not shooting well on day one. And so you've got to find other ways to carry your team. And Avery comes out in the first quarter and just goes bang, bang, and hits 2 threes on Glacier Peak, helps us get out to a big lead. Like, we're jumping up and screaming and yelling. It was just, even going back and looking at that game and knowing that we didn't win, I still think of some of those moments and just being like, man, like, Avery coming out and hitting those shots just speaks to her guts. It speaks to the internal stuff. Like, she was game for that moment, and we were game for that moment as a team. It was really cool. And I don't know if we could have done what we did without her getting off to that hot start. But it was just a really, really cool deal. Like, you'll always have that, starting out in the Dome and hitting 2 threes back to back in the first quarter. It's just a really cool deal. So Avery, just like all of our seniors, you guys built something that was really, really special. And I just can't help but think that, like, for years to come, when you guys are watching us play, or you come back for Christmas break or whatever it is, and you see the success that we're having, I just can't help but think, like, there's like silhouettes of you guys in our locker room, and the things that you guys have done and the leadership that you showed was just second to none. You left the table, Avery, you left the table for greatness behind you, and we'll forever be appreciative. Avery Minnick. Okay, awards time. So our awards are voted on by our players. So at the end of the year, everybody gets a ballot, and they all go through, they turn them in, and we just add them up, and whoever gets the most wins. So we give a few awards here, starting with most inspirational, and I'm just like, I look at the votes for most inspirational, and it's almost unanimous, and it's totally obvious. When you have a player that after a big loss goes around and tells every single player in the locker room why they love them, it's hard to not gain inspiration from that. And so our most inspirational this year is well-deserved, Kira Seguis. You see it? There you go. Kira, congratulations. Most improved. So most improved, this is crazy. I kind of, sometimes when you get into the season, you forget how much someone improved. You forget how much, like, where they started to where they finished, because you're so reliant on them. We became incredibly reliant on this player down the stretch. She provided huge minutes in huge games and scoring that we didn't necessarily have throughout the course of the season. And when you go into the playoffs as a player that's averaging 3.5 to 4 points a game, and then you come out of the playoffs averaging over 10 a game, you've really, really left a dent. And she did. Incredibly impactful as the season went on. Anna Mooney, most improved. And our defensive MVP, Coach Griff's award. Even though it's voted on by the players, I think he would have loved the one they voted for, because we just have an absolute lockdown defender. And the crazy thing is we ask her to do as much as any player I've ever coached ever. Like, be the best defensive player and guard the other team's best player. Don't let them touch the ball. Sometimes we just flat out don't even let her do anything, but don't let this girl touch the ball. So you have to put so much energy to that. That is so difficult to do, that you are always on. So she's guarding Division I players. She's guarding the best players. She's guarding girls that we're saying you can't even let her touch the ball. And then you have to bring the ball down the court and set up our offense and run all of our plays and make sure we execute everything properly. It's amazing how much we ask this person to do. We talked earlier about her having a plus 184. She is, I think a lot of the reason we have that plus 184 when she's on the court is because of her defensive presence. When she is not on the court, we lose an incredible defender. And that's Caitlin Forner, defensive MVP. Okay, our MVP. Well, when you rack up all league awards and you rack up all region first team, which is an incredible honor, it's hard to turn another eye. This was completely unanimous, other than one vote, so I'm assuming she voted for somebody else. Just an absolute rock. She goes about her business every day with a great attitude, with a smile on her face. No matter what happens, she can be positive through it. And she sets the table for a locker room that has incredible team chemistry. And you just can't do that if your best player doesn't allow that to happen. And I think there's so much that she does for our program, even if you take away the points per game and the rebounds per game. But Faith Bergstrom, our MVP. Great job, Faith. Okay, so last thing is the coach's award. This is my 12th year as a varsity basketball coach. Every single year I've given away a coach's award. I'm going to do something different this year, and this is obviously the first time I've ever done it. So I'm really excited at the opportunity. This is maybe the thing most that I really, really wish that I was there with you guys for, because this is so meaningful to me. I've never done a co-coach's award before. I'm not just going to do a co-coach's award. I've got 4 deserving recipients of this year's coach's award. And it wouldn't be right if we didn't recognize our seniors the way that they needed to be recognized. This is just, I feel like I say this to everybody, but I don't know if I've actually said it to the team, because it's been so long since we had our season. This was one of the most fun years I've ever had. This was one of the most fun periods of my life that I've ever had. Just being in the program and around you girls every single day was just a blast. Every single day I showed up for practice, it was I'm excited to be there. And I just couldn't have done it without our seniors. Our seniors were the ones that set the culture, the ones that set the chemistry, the ones that showed the others how we're going to care about each other, how we're going to just enjoy being around each other. And when you have that, it's just special. It's just special, and it's fun to be around. And I feel like you guys have handed a baton to the next group of Camas basketball players who will then hand the baton to the group after that. And it's just going to be like great forever. And we're always going to have you to thank. My first senior group last year, it kind of felt like, even though I loved them, they weren't really mine. Like, they were coached by other coaches, and I just got them for their last year. You guys felt like you guys were mine, and it was just really, really special. So Avery, Haley, Kira, and Emma, you guys are all going to get the Coaches Award. I'm honored to give it to you guys because you guys will be remembered in our locker room forever, and we love you guys dearly. I also got you guys a little something. You're going to have to come pick them up now. I'm going to show them to you guys. Kira, it's a little thing representing kind of the seniors. Avery. Emma. Maybe you guys can hang them in your dorm room someday. Oh! See, this is real. We're really recording this. Haley. Perfect. So, we threw in a picture with you guys on senior night, the Tacoma Dome. Now you guys got to come get them. All right. We have a very special message that a couple of our seniors wanted to give to the team, so I thought I'd save it till the end. So a little message from the seniors to everybody.
3, 2, 1. Hey guys!
Hey, team.
I'm glad we can all finally say our last final goodbyes, even though it's August, which is crazy, but I hope everybody's doing well.
I'm so glad that I was able to spend my last year with you guys, and this team was above everything that I could have asked for. I'm so glad that I had this coaching staff. I'm so thankful for everything you guys have done for me for the past couple of years, and I'm so glad that I could end my basketball career with you guys.
I just want to say thank you guys to every single one of you on the team. Emma said a lot of it is we know how great the team chemistry was this year, and without you guys, I wouldn't be the person I am. You guys really helped make senior year the best year it could ever be, the best season I've ever had playing basketball, and you guys are the reason that I'm still playing the sport. And I just want to say thank you guys for always pushing me to be the best and always supporting me. Shout out to the coaching staff, the best coaching staff I've ever had in my life. I'm so happy.
Call me T-Dunk.
I'm so happy I could have all of you guys for the last 2 years of my season and at Camas High School and playing high school basketball. But thank you for all of you guys for pushing me to be the best and, just showing me love and, being a second family. And thank you for just everything you do. I can't appreciate it. And all the laughs you guys made, the bus rides, everything more. So awesome. And I treasure that for always, and will always be in my heart. Every single one of you guys will be in my heart forever. I can't wait to see you guys kick butt next year. And biggest thing,
go kick butt next year,
is to keep doing, don't take no for an answer. And just know that if there's a will, baby, hard work will get you there.
Don't wish for it, work for it.
Yeah, hard work. If there's a will, there's a way. And you guys can, the sky is the limit. Shoot for the moon. Land on the stars. You guys got it.
Don't let Corona or Rona hold you back. You got it.
Hey, Emma, should we send him out with one more? You suck. You suck. And thank you guys. Have a great
Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Love you all. Stay safe.
We miss you guys.
We miss you guys. Take care.
Bye.
The clock strikes 4, it's time to go to war. My game is so tight, you know it's out of sight. So we cruise to the gym, I'm gonna break a limb off some wannabe baller. I don't care if he's taller, cause I'll wheel right around. Leave the jock on the ground with 100 post moves. Well, you know you're bound to lose, then it's off to the R. I put you in the dark cause my J is so sick, I release too quick for you to ever block me. My name is Tommy T. I'm the king of the court, and b-ball is my sport. But it's not just my jumper, my D is like thumper. I'm on you like a hound, and I'm not trying to clown. So if you wanna play me, the one and only Tommy T, you better travel on down and make a stop in B-Town, where I'll break you off stuff and leave your wallet holding nothing, cause they play me in a G. But please don't weep, just accept I'm saying major, while you stuck a minor. I'm closing up your shop like a run-down diner. So now it's time to quit. I let the bass hit. I won't hesitate, my game's tight in every state.